Hi guys, my name is Jocelyn, and today I'm going to be making some pupusas for you. Pupusas are a Salvadorian traditional corn flour masa filled with a delicious savory filling. Today we're going to be making them with chicharrón, which is fried pork. First thing that we're going to start off with is making our curtido. So our curtido is a pickled cabbage with carrots as well as sliced yellow onion, vinegar, and oregano. You want to make your curtido at least 24 hours in advance. That way you give it enough time to pickle, but if you're not too worried about that, you can just make it a couple hours ahead. You're going to want to use a medium to large cabbage. You're going to take your cabbage and you're going to take all the ugly green leaves off of it, and we're cut down the center here. And you're gonna slice your curtido finely. So now you're gonna have this beautiful shredded cabbage that you're gonna use for your curtido. Look how beautiful that cabbage is. Oh my goodness. And you have your large onion here, and we're gonna only use half of the onion. So you wanna slice the top and the bottom. And your onion, you're gonna wanna thinly slice it as well. That way, when they're thinly sliced, they blend in and they mix in with the cabbage and the carrots, and they all dance together and get flavorful. Gonna peel our carrots now. And using this side of the shredder, you're gonna shred your carrots. Get these long pieces. All right, so we got our three main ingredients here for our curtido: our sliced cabbage, our shredded carrot, and our sliced yellow onion. First thing, you'll need a large bowl, and you're gonna give it a quick toss. We're gonna add 1 cup of white vinegar, and we're also gonna add some apple cider vinegar. Almost everyone makes their curtido a little bit different, but it always has cabbage, onions, and carrots in it, and vinegar and oregano. So some people add jalapeno to it. You can add a little bit of color to it to change its color. And so we're gonna add about half a tablespoon of oregano, and give that a nice toss. And you want to mush the cabbage in between your fingers so you can release all of the juices. Okay, so we're gonna add 1 cup of water and also about half a tablespoon of salt. And after you're done mixing all your ingredients, you're gonna wanna let this refrigerate, chill at least overnight, or if you don't wanna wait at least an hour, you wanna let it sit in your refrigerator to chill and for the cabbage and the onions and the carrots to really soak up all the flavor from the vinegar and from the oregano. The next step in making your pupusas is going to be making your pupusa filling. For your chicharrón, you're gonna need about 1 pound of pork shoulder butt and about 1 pound of pork belly. Cut up and diced and fried. And your chicharrón should be crispy, but not dry. So it should be crispy on the outside and moist on the inside. Nice and crispy, the fat. Once your chicharrón is done, you're gonna wanna take it off the burner and let it sit and cool before we throw it in the food processor to shred it all up and make our filling for the pupusas. And to your one pound of pork, you're gonna add some onions pepper. So it's gonna be about half a cup of both onion and pepper. We're gonna put the onion and the pepper in the food processor as well. Your green pepper and onion should look like this. You're gonna add that to your chicharrón and mix it all up. You see our chicharrón here, the onion and the pepper all blended in. And then to this, you're gonna be adding in your quesillo and your mozzarella cheese. So we're gonna use about 1/2 cup of quesillo and mix that in really, really well. Break up all the little pieces. And we're also going to add about 3 cups of mozzarella cheese, or maybe like 4. It's cheese. You can put a little bit more if you want to. Make sure the cheese is mixed in with the chicharrón. Okay. And this is our chicharrón filling, our chicharrón and cheese. In the meantime, we're going to make our salsa de tomate, which is the sauce that goes on top of our curtido. You're gonna wanna take 1/4 of an onion. You can leave your onion sliced or you can dice it up. For the salsa de tomate, I recommend using cherry tomatoes or you can use red plum tomatoes. Those tomatoes, they're super juicy, they're red, and they're full of flavor. I'm gonna take our cherry tomatoes, and this is about a pint, maybe a little bit more. I'm gonna take our cherry tomatoes, our onion, and 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, and we're gonna throw it on the burner here and start making our salsa de tomate. Once the tomato and the onion are all sauteed and delicious and reduced, we're gonna throw it in the food processor. Beautiful. Now we're gonna be making our masa. Recipe calls for about 2 cups. So I'm gonna add here about 2 cups. You're gonna wanna add in the water slowly. So for 2 cups of masa, you're gonna need about 5 cups of water, maybe a little more. So your masa, as it gets wet, it's gonna expand, and as it sits, it's gonna expand even more. So if you don't have enough water in it, you're gonna end up with some dry masa and then some dry pupusas. So I just added in 1 cup. I'm gonna mix it around. As you're adding in the water, you're gonna want to get rid of any clumps. Once you feel the masa softening up, turning into dough-like, you're gonna wanna start rotating your bowl and folding your masa around. Really press your palm into the masa. This is gonna allow you to feel for any flour that didn't get any water, any little balls, masa balls. Really squeeze and feel the masa in between your hands. This is gonna allow every little bit of the corn to soak up the water. You want your masa to be a little sticky. It sticks to your fingers a little bit. That means it has enough water in it. So you see here the masa, it's sticky, it's really soft. This is what we're looking for. The fillings are the star of the pupusa, but so is the masa. So I think it's really important to make sure you have a well-made masa that's nice and soft. So after you're done making your masa, you are ready to assemble your pupusas. We're gonna go ahead and start making our pork and cheese pupusas. So we're gonna need our oil here, little cup. I'm gonna fill it up with oil, and this is gonna be for my hands. And I'm I'm gonna put our pupusa balls in this container, so that way they're ready to go, so I can just throw them on the skillet. I'm gonna take a little bit of our masa and oil up my hands here, and we're gonna flatten it out with our fingers. So your masa should be soft and it should feel almost like it's gonna break apart, but spread your fingers out so that you can hold a little round tortilla masa ball in your hand. All right, and you're just gonna flip it back and forth until it's almost the size of your palm, and you're gonna take some of the chicharron filling, and in the palm of your hand here, you're gonna cup your hand, and you're gonna place the filling right in the center. Close it up. Now I've got just the right amount of masa, so I don't need to remove any of the excess masa, and you're gonna wanna see a little bit of the chicharron on the outside of the masa. That's okay. It doesn't mean that your pupusas are falling apart. Oil up your hand so that the masa doesn't stick to you. And if you cup your hand perfectly and then you flip it over, you'll see that the masa is intact. It's not falling apart. That means it has just the right amount of water. Your masa is going to expand, so you don't want too much masa. And just turn your little pupusa ball around until it closes. So you're going to want to make all your pupusa balls before you start flattening them out and throwing them on your flat top. That way you're not going back and forth and making pupusas. What's great about pupusas is that if you're not a fan of these traditional fillings, you can use whatever filling you like. If you're vegan, you can use veggies or your favorite vegan cheese, or you can just use bean as your binder and then add whatever veggie you like. Squash, I really love green beans. Zucchini flowers are really great too. All right, all done. Oh, look at them. Now you're gonna travel over to your station where you're gonna be cooking your pupusas, and take your oil with you. You're gonna need it. Okay, let's go. All right, so once your pan is heated up, and you're gonna wanna use a non-stick, and so you're gonna take your pupusa ball, and you're gonna take either your left or your right hand, and you're gonna wanna mold it and press on the outside and rotate the ball so it gets a little shape to it, and then you're gonna slowly flatten it out with your fingers. This is how I learned to make them. It's super easy, and as the pupusa is rotating in your hand, you're gonna wanna take your thumbs and close the edges so that no cheese or delicious filling comes out. You're gonna wanna spread your fingers out so that the pupusa doesn't fall apart. And your pan's gonna be slightly oiled as well as your fingers. So you should hear the little sizzle from the pupusa. And again, rotate the pupusa ball around. Beautiful. You can see here the color from the chicharron is coming through on the outside. That means that all the flavors are seeping in to the masa flour, giving it great flavor. All right. And you'll know to flip them once the cheese starts oozing out from the sides a little, or you'll see a little bit of the chicharron grease color coming in from the top. All right, so these are done. And they only take about 5 to 8 minutes to cook, depending on how hot the fire is. So our pupusas, once they're ready, want to serve them here, nice and gooey, filled with cheese. And you see how soft they are? They're not firm. The masa isn't hard. It's really soft and moist. And we serve it with our curtido. Just gonna pour this here on top. Ooh, and our sauce. And the curtido adds a really great bite to the pupusa since it's fried pork. The vinegar and the cabbage just cuts through it all and adds great flavor. All right, you top it off with your salsa de tomate. All right, you're all set. My name's Jocelyn. Thank you so much for joining us here at Audi Field as we made our traditional Salvadorian pupusas. We hope you enjoy the recipe and we'll make them at home.